I'm Radha Suvarna. I'm the Chief Product Officer for Payments Business at Finastra. Finastra essentially, within payments business, have two product lines. One set of product lines is payment hubs. We call it Global Pay Plus and Payments to Go. And then on the financial messaging side, we have Finastra financial messaging products. Leading up to SIBOS, we are making three announcements. One is our intelligent routing module, which we just announced. It essentially centralizes and consolidates routing decisions for the banks so that they can deliver better customer experience and better optionality. What do I mean by that? Essentially, banks can choose between routing between high-value payment rails, immediate payment rails, as they're making decisions around which route to move the payments around. That's one. And also, within the cross-border, there are multiple options for banks to route transactions with different correspondent banking chains. So this intelligent routing module basically will give the optionality to the banks and to the customers so that they can deliver consistent experience across. That's number one. The second one, we announced last week, a modern ACH solution. Basically for bulk payment processing in the United States. 40% of the banks have basically said they're looking for a more modern solution to replace the COBOL-based legacy solution that they have in the market. And we have built our solution with microservices on OpenStack, and we already have a couple of customers and we are talking to many more customers. That's the second one. And the third one is the announcement that we made around our strategic partnership with Circle to offer stablecoin as an option for routing cross-border transactions. Which we are really excited about. There are three trends in cross-border payments that we are tracking that is informing our own strategy. One is new and emerging alternatives for cross-border payments. What do I mean by that? SWIFT continues to be an important rail for cross-border payments. That's one. Second, in the past few years, newer alternate payment models have been emerging, like Visa Direct, MasterCard Move, and Tunes, which we are participating and connected to within GPP. But what's happening now that we are watching is a lot of regional networks are emerging. Example, Asian Regional Payments Connectivity, RPC, which essentially connecting immediate payment rails that are built on ISO 20022 standard between Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. That is basically to drive cross-border payments within that block. And then you have, in Nordics, there is a project P27 to connect the Nordic countries. And there is a separate initiative called Project Nexus, which is IBC is driving, essentially connecting all these immediate payment rails across the markets. That is going to create an alternative to the traditional clearing mechanisms. That's one that we are watching. The second one, obviously, I briefly mentioned, stablecoin-based connectivity and cross-border payments. So as these new alternatives emerge, we are basically connecting Global Pay Plus and providing those options to our bank customers so they can experiment and innovate. So that's number one. The second trend that we are looking at is creating more value in cross-border payments driven by technology modernization within the payments stack. What do I mean by that? The payment stacks are being modularized with microservices. And when that happens, I mentioned routing module as an example. Banks are able to take parts of the component, move it upstream to deliver more value to the customers, like routing module. The other one we are seeing is hybrid rails. So as an example, if a SWIFT transaction comes in after hours into, say, Australia, is one of the markets where they're testing this, rather than wait until the next morning when the high-value payment rails open during the business hours, they can route the transaction to immediate payment rails that is 24/7 and make the funds available right away to the customers. That is an incremental value to the customer. So the value creation through payment rails is something that we are seeing. That's the second trend. And the third trend that we are seeing is how AI is going to drive incremental value in the whole payments processing. Customers have been asking for speed, cost, and transparency for some time. That's not new. But what we're also seeing is customers want a chat GPT like experience. When I say customers, it's bank operations staff want chat GPT like experience in order to process payments that go into pending mode and do the investigations for payments and also find what's wrong with payments and fix it. So we are launching a chat GPT like a solution that will sit alongside the traditional user experience that we have in our global pay plus, that bank staff can basically simply ask questions like, where is my payment, show me all the payments that are in the pending, etc. So and also recommend solutions to fix the payments and repair the payments. So those are the three that we are watching, that we are closely monitoring, and that's what's driving our strategy as to how we drive our products to add value to the customers. We are helping banks by modernizing our own payment stack first. So what we have done is Global Pay Plus now. We have compartmentalized Global Pay Plus product into two broad stacks. An underlying technology stack that does things like connectivity, communications, telemetry and data, etc. Decouple that from the functional components, which are, like for example, in Payment Hub, the functional components are routing, validation and enrichment of the payments, the actual payment execution, checking for risk management like sanction screening and fraud, etc. So we have decompartmentalized all those functional components into 5 packages based on microservices. So how is that helpful? If banks wants to modernize their stack, payments technology stack, they have optionality to move completely from legacy stack to the modern Global Pay Plus stack, or some banks would like to do it in a phased manner. They can pick the routing module and modernize it while keep the legacy stack. So we are basically providing optionality to the banks so that every bank can choose what's right for them, because there is no one-size-fits-all to modernization, and every bank is going to approach it in a slightly different way. So that's really what we're doing. On the financial messaging side, traditionally, banks have connected it different way, MQ and file uploads. But more and more bank customers and corporate customers are asking for API-based connectivity. So we are basically offering that API-based connectivity to some of the customers, so they have a choice to pick all three or API only. So the way we think about it, Finastra, is we want to provide the optionality to banks so that we can make their capabilities forward compatible and innovate finance together. All the best to everyone at SIBOS, and it promises to be an exciting few days.